Hey everyone. So for the people who are going to see this video that didn't see my Facebook Live last night, I shared my testimony and a short message to the church. Let's see. All right. To do a summary, when I was saved, God took me from the church that I knew where I did have family and community, and He took me on a journey of trying many other churches. And because of who God created me to be, I'm very transparent and vulnerable. I tell people when I'm struggling with something, what I'm struggling with, and that I need support. With God's help, I was able to do that in these churches, and I found a lot of disappointment. And although God did bring people into my life from the church, the big church, the whole thing, right? Although He brought people into my life to help me in ways, I did not receive the help from a church building that I was a part of and very vulnerable with. I held a lot of, I got frustrated and angry over all of this. And I stopped going to church about 5 years ago, I think. And I literally moved to a new state. Like, I got away from everything that I knew. And I think it was necessary. I needed this time with God to not only heal other things from my past, but to take a break from helping other people in the ways I was. I used to take people into my home. I was constantly on the go, helping women get out of domestic violence situations, literally going to their homes and getting their stuff with them, moving them to new places. I mean, I was really doing God's work, and I felt like when I left it and I moved, I was running from it. There was times of struggle for me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally screwed up. I had so much purpose. I was doing so much, but now I think I see I needed to stop and take a break. Because one person, 2, 3, 4, 5, the small amount of people that are doing things like that, like really walking alongside others and helping to carry their burdens, it is too much for the small amount of people doing it. We cannot help everybody. I think that's why God says, love your neighbor. He's saying, love those that are in your close proximity, the people that you see in your community, the people that you see in your church, in your neighborhood. Because I can't go help everybody in different states. I can't help everybody. I can't even help everybody around me. There has to be more people in communities doing this. And God calls us to have this love for others and carrying burdens, and you can't carry burdens from a distance. So I had to work through the anger that I had and frustration. Now, I have a heart for the church. God has always laid a heart for the church on me. And I know when I was discovering that I had the gift of prophecy, I was researching what that meant. And it said in there that people with the gift of prophecy usually have a very strong loving heart towards the church. And I was like, wow, that's totally me. But then when I got angry with the church, I thought, no, I don't know. I was wrong, but I wasn't. I do have a heart for the church, and I'm back now. God opened that door the past couple of weeks. He's been bringing me to this open door now to start speaking to the church. And helping you to understand what it means to really walk alongside somebody, the impact that you can make on a person's life by just making some tweaks in what you're doing. I understand that there are fears. When somebody, we've all been through different levels of trauma, right? Or we've all experienced pain in life. We're in a fallen world. Everybody knows what it's like to be in pain. But I know there's different levels of pain and trauma, and I know it's uncomfortable hearing what people went through in their childhood, hearing the darkness that was done to others, and it's uncomfortable. And sometimes we don't want to hear that. We don't want to know that stuff. We don't want to know that there's human trafficking going on in the world. That's why there's such a small amount of people trying to fight that. But God didn't call us to keep our eyes closed and not help others. He called us to do the complete opposite. So we need to push past our fears and our comfortability and we need to reach out to others. An example that I had for my own self was people who are homeless, right? I don't like calling them homeless people because that's like putting an identity on them, and they are not, that is not their identity. So people who do not have homes, I pass them on the streets, right? There's a lot of people by my job, and up until maybe a couple months ago, I really struggled with helping them. I would sit at a red light and they're standing there, right, with a sign. And I'm like, oh, please light change, please change green, please change green. So uncomfortable. It wasn't because I was looking down on them or because I was scared of them or because I thought if I help them, they're going to go get alcohol. None of that stuff that people will use as judgment. But because I feel like I need to fix the situation. Simply saying hi to this person and handing them a granola bar, that's not enough. That's not going to help them. That's not really going to make an impact. And so I'd get focused on I can't fix them, so I'm just going to pretend it doesn't exist. I'm going to, ignore it. And then once out of sight, out of mind. Great. Well, I had been following this person who does like social media, and he started filming like when riots were going on and stuff, but he's a good man, and he started to also do stuff with like kind of his own ministry for the people without homes. And there was some other people that I was following, and I got from it like, people who are on the streets, they're like, I just want to know that I still exist, like that people can see me. Like that would be one of the best things that people can do, is like acknowledge I'm there. And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, if we're all just driving past them, not even bothering to say hi, could you imagine how you could start to think that you don't even exist? So I was like, what I can do is I'm going to go get some stuff from the Dollar Tree. I got things like, I listened to another girl who used to be on the streets, and she shared what would be helpful. So I got things like mouthwash and socks and chapstick and deodorant, bottles of water, of course. I got snacks. And then because I know handing somebody a bag for the day, that's going to help them in that moment to eat and maybe clean up a little bit. But it's not going to make a lasting impact. So I got also at the Dollar Tree, they have these books. They're like devotionals or scripture based, and they have topics like for men who are struggling, for women who are struggling, for people who are on, like there was literally one for people on the streets. There's different things. So I bought a bunch of those, put one in each bag. So at least I know that there's an opportunity for them to read about Jesus and know that he loves them and they can have a relationship with him. And so I started handing those out as I would pass people, and I felt better that at least I was participating in helping that. My daughter took it a step further, and no, she does not go sit with strange men on the street all the time, but she felt called for this one man that would be over by a Walmart that we were living near. And she just started talking to him one day. He was super friendly. She sat on the grass with him. She would literally go up there when she'd know he'd be there, and she'd bring some snacks and stuff, and she would sit with him on the grass and talk with them. She got to know him. She got to know his story, why he was on the street. I know that had to make an impact on that man to know that, hey, there are people that see me and they care about me and care about my story. And although my daughter couldn't take him home and she didn't have the resources to get him a place and get him a job and help fix everything, she sat with him and she talked on the grass. I'm so proud of her for that. But that touches my heart. That's what I'm talking about, just doing what we can. And that video I made last night, I was being very vulnerable. I shared things that I didn't necessarily need to be sharing with people who I don't know, but I did it anyway because I want people to see the hope of Jesus and the love that he gives and the healing that he can give you. And I was reached out to through comments and some text messages through people from the church, my old pastor, my old boss who's a pastor, a missionary friend, some other people. And they gave me words of encouragement and support. They don't need to do anything else. That was what I needed today, because I was so not sure about the video and what I said and stuff. And I felt like God's gonna use me to keep moving forward in this and helping the church. And words of encouragement is what I needed today, and I got that. And they did what God called them to do for today, and they probably didn't even realize that I needed that. But a simple text message, a simple comment on social media, that is walking alongside others. You're going to be called in different ways to be in someone's life. And so I'm starting this series on that. I want to share what it's like for people that have been through some more traumatic situations in life than maybe others have. I know that when we're not saved and we've been through trauma, there's walls up and they can be intimidating. So I want to speak on that. I want to speak on what it was like for me, people who have been through trauma, they feel worthless. That's the message that we identify with, worthless. And a burden, that's another huge one. We're not gonna constantly come to you and ask for your help because we're going to feel like a burden to you. Even if you say, no, you're not a burden. Until God fixes why we feel like a burden, we're going to feel like a burden, so we're not going to reach out. So that's where you would come and play, as being in a healthier spot in life. Maybe even having gone through trauma, but you've healed it. Where you make that phone call. And you keep pursuing like God would keep pursuing, and you let that person know, even if they don't answer that phone, hey, I'm thinking about you. I still care about you. When you're ready, you answer that phone and let's talk. Because I know when I was in my severe depression states, I wasn't answering that phone. But if you keep pursuing it, eventually I would have answered that phone, So I want to share all that stuff. I want to start having communication between the world that's hurting and the church who could be helping, and help us to start opening those doors of communication and love, and what can I do as a follower of Christ to help those that are hurting. So I have a YouTube, you might be seeing this on YouTube, but if you are not seeing this on YouTube, I have a channel where I'll be posting all these videos. I'll probably have a playlist called To the Church or something. My channel YouTube account is Tabitha's Journey Out of Egypt. You can Google that. I've tried it. It comes right up. Tabitha's Journey Out of Egypt. Subscribe to my channel and you will get that notification. So hope to see you there, and for us to just be able to grow together. See you later.